Hey, Couture Babes, it's your girl Britt Bright going live with the Breed Talk and Bae Squad. Funky Dineva has entered the chat officially. Now, before we get started, let's like, comment, and subscribe. Tap that notification bell so you can get all the updates and alerts. And remember, opinions are not facts. Everything we say here is allegedly and for entertainment purposes solely. So sit back, relax, sip you some apple juice or my faith vegan water, and let's get into the mess, shall we?
He was essentially fired. He says he was let go, but they didn't renew his contract, okay? He was getting paid a hefty salary, $250,000 plus a year. Claudia makes about $300, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I'm telling a business. Okay, Al makes about $150. And, you know, it goes by popularity and the value that you bring to the show, right? And I've always had my reservations about Fox Soul and
it did not go by popularity. Everybody made the same exact salary, $1,000 an episode, $250,000 per year. And I, for the umpteenth time, was not let go. I opted to not renew my contract after it expired on December 22nd.
Absolutely phenomenal at what he does, and he drove that show. We had several conversations on the phone behind the scenes about him asking for more money, okay, behind Al and Claudia's back, because he felt like he drove the show. And so during negotiations, the math wasn't math, and they said, we can't afford to give you more money, so we're going to have to end your contract and find somewhere else. He didn't.
See, now you're trying to drive a narrative that simply is not true. Number one, I would never sit on the phone and have several conversations about my money or my contract with you, of all people. Secondly, the negotiations that I had about my money were not behind Al and Claudia's back, but were within the parameters of negotiation time for my contract. Al and Claudia had a 12-month contract. I had a 6-month contract. So the reason why I was having negotiations about my money is because my contract was due to expire. The reason why I had a 6-month contract and the reason why I subsequently walked from Fox Soul is because when we went from 2 days a week to 5 days a week, they cut our episodic rate. They cut us down to $1,000 an episode. The head at the network said, okay, we can't give him his same rate, but instead we will give him a 6-month contract. And at the end of 6 months, we can talk about renegotiating his contract. When those 6 months came up and they handed me the same exact contract that I had had previously, I was offended. They were not trying to budge on giving me any more money. And that is when I decided to walk, because I knew what my contribution was to this show. And as you stated later in this video, why would I sit here and build up their YouTube and split the money when I can do my own YouTube and keep all of the money? There was no firing. There's no conspiracy theory. There's no behind anybody's back. Carry on.
And so when me and Claudia had dinner, you know, I was just like, listen, you know, I think it should be him. Her comment to me, and I agreed, because I've had my own issues with certain black gay men, not all, mainly the Fs. Can't say that word over here. I definitely say it on TashaKLive.com. It gets too messy. And so she was already irritated with Funky, because they were going back and forth. And then she was irritated with Al. And she's like, I really don't want no more gay boys. I'm just done. I really want a heterosexual person. Down. Now, here's what has been going on. Claudia don't like Al. She personally told me. Claudia don't like Funky. She was tired of working with gay boys, specifically Fs. Per me. That ain't no allegedly on that. We had dinner. We talked about it. The same night when she told me she was friends with Jay-Z's alleged ex. That ain't here no more. She X'd off, okay? And quickly got amnesia. And so what's happening is Claudia is very messy. Claudia talks about everybody. This is why Funky got energy for her. This is why Al called Funky Dineva doing this. Play the video of him calling Funky. Let's go.
Hold on before you talk.
No,
I'm on live.
You need to hear this on live.
Hold on. People can hear you.
I don't give a fuck.
Because here's what happened. Claudia spends a lot of time on the phone kikiing with folks that she don't really know. Okay. And Armon is an easy target. You tell him something, he's going to take it in because he's an energy absorber, right? Okay. He's going to take it in and he's thinking he's going to fix the problem. But instead, he don't even know when he being used. He doesn't know. Slips. They're getting paid close to or over $500,000 to host a show that's barely bringing in 60,000 views. That is why they had to implement a fourth guest host, because he's not strong enough. Nobody was stronger than Dineva. But then you want Claudia to pillow talk in your ear about everything that's going on, and you ain't even been on the job a full year. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And furthermore, while you're listening to Claudia, because she's friends and she likes to brag with the president of Fox, and he loves the show, he loves me, right? I get to bring as many shows as I want. We're getting syndicated, only for the show to decline.
TGIF tonight and call me back.
All right, bye.
That was a lot of information that Armon had in such a short time, which means somebody's been talking to him. The only person that talks too much is Claudia. I know. The first encounter with me, you run your mouth like liquid to me? You didn't say off the record? Me. We're talking about me here. We're not friends. We're colleagues. You talk about me on your show, I'm going to talk about you on my show. That's the dynamic of the relationship. We're not friends, right? You can take the comments down for a second. But here's where I have the problem with Armon. That was an amazing read, but it was very mean-spirited. It didn't come from a happy place. It didn't even come from a genuine place. It came from a place that sounds like you were fueled, and you're blaming Al for getting a talk show canceled when he's the one that helped to build the job that you have. You wouldn't even be able to sit there if it wasn't for Al. Al comes from TV. Despite Al having favoritism with management, he understands how to network within the television industry. Now, what you just showed as a very, very young personality to somebody that has favoritism is that you are sabotaging the show. Not only are you sabotaging the show, you're not strong enough to carry the show like Funky, and that's why they had to bring in a Lunel and a T.S. Madison, because you're refusing to do your homework. You're very great with the tongue, very slick. You can read a bitch down, right? But television is not looking for that. They're looking for people that are well-versed in a vast area of topics, and they're able to appeal to a certain type of audience that understands, okay, intellectual conversations. But for you to do that, I'm like, you haven't gotten any opportunities on the red carpet yet. They haven't asked you to host Dish Nation. She hasn't even introduced you to the president that she says loves her so much. But she fueled you to go in on Al because she was too bitch to do it herself. Right? Just like when she was talking shit about Funky, she was too scared to do it herself. She used you as the pawn, and because you're emotional and erratic and easy to manipulate, you went in talking about things you knew nothing about because you ain't been there long enough. And if you really got your eyes open, you will see that they're trying to replace you right before your eyes. Not Al, you.
Bae Squad, we are definitely doing a live tomorrow morning because we got to discuss some things. We might as well wake it up since the boys and the girls are being messy. And when I'm talking about messy, I'm talking about Fox Soul is in shambles. Y'all better stop questioning me when I said Fox Soul is done. Finito. Final. Finished. Because, baby, when have we ever seen any correspondent show going through this type of drama? And then we didn't get the child. Y'all ain't ready. But comment down below. I gotta go. Bye, hoes.